Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Kimbo here, and it's time for another epic episode of the series I like to call the Bakubeytuber Adventures. So obviously going behind the scenes, there's a lot of events and such that have gone on. It's been really awesome doing this, honestly. I'm really glad that you guys have been enjoying this series so much and finding out about like some behind the scenes stuff, because it's like a lot of things happen, a lot of stories to just tell, and honestly a lot of them I held in for the longest time, and now being able to do it, just so glad and so honored that so many people really enjoy this series. So I just want to say thank you guys so much for all the support. Also hit 65k recently, which holy freaking crap, guys. Like, you guys know my ultimate dream's 100k, and the fact that we're even like almost 2/3 of the way there, I can't believe it. Like, I'm still dumbfounded and baffled, man. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of you guys that are in the shadows that haven't subbed or anything, that watch the videos, it shows. Just hit that subscribe button and become a part of the Kimbo army, would love to have you here, obviously good vibes and just all things fun and awesome with Beyblade and Bakugan here. So yeah, man, but without further ado, let's get into this story, man. So this is number 5. This one's gonna be a really fun one. So this one is about the very first Bakugan Invitational. So anybody who doesn't know, first of all, I was a part of the very first Invitational from the get-go of this reboot. I've been a big part of things and totally freaking honored. So I'll give you guys a little backstory on things, obviously, with it. So anybody who doesn't know, I've been a fan of Bakugan for literally like the better part of a decade, Like back in 2009, I was collecting Bakugan when I was this kid that didn't have much money in high school and such. Literally, I would do like babysitting jobs and such to get like 20, 40 bucks, and I would spend it all on Bakugan. This is before like Beyblade had come back around, Metal Fight. And I was there from like season 1 of the first era of Bakugan up until it ended in Magtanium Surge, I was collecting them up until I couldn't find anything in the stores. But then I started my channel right after it had ended, honestly. It was probably about like, I think, like February or March of 2012 when it really ended, and I was super bummed. I was going to the stores finding any Bakugan I possibly could because I knew it was over, and a lot of them were on the discount clearance rack and such, and the show had just ended, and then, Metal Fight Beyblade, Metal Fusion was going on, and that's when I started my channel, obviously with like 5 bays, but then like having a pretty decent sized Bakugan collection at the time. So, I'd kind of gone on a hiatus a little bit on my channel for the longest time because, I'd been into it, like, before I started my channel. Some of my first videos were Bakugan videos, but then obviously a lot of Beyblade videos since then, and then even some of my first Bay hunting videos. You guys can see them, it's called Bay hunting and also Bakugan cleanup. That's what I called it, Bakugan cleanup, because I'd always go around and get some of the Bakugan that I can find, anything that I could. We're not having the most money, because even back then, the biggest fan of it, and I was really bummed when it ended, but I always told myself if it ever came back, I'd be right on it. And then sure enough, there were big time rumors. It was around like 2016, 17, where there was like rumors that like it would come back, and I'm like, I always had hope that it would come back. So I'd start getting like a bunch of Bakugan lots and such. Some of them actually blew up like crazy. Like some of the videos have blown up on here. Maybe some of you guys have found my channels from those, I know I found I got like the lots with like Hydronoid and such, both single-headed Hydronoids, other Bakugan lots that I had gotten because I really wanted to like up my Bakugan collection and get some of the ones that I wasn't able to get back in the day, and just getting caught up with them. Honestly, to the point where I'm basically caught up. I don't have every attribute of Bakugan that was in the show or such, but trying to get up as best as I could with all of them, with all of the different seasons, also Tech Bakugan. And because some of the videos had gotten so big, Spin Master, obviously when we had no clue that things were actually happening, Spin Master had actually messaged me. At first, I thought it was a complete, just, okay, this is spam, okay, how you get, some of those telemarketers calling and such, and they're like, oh, you want a 24-day paid vacation to Hawaii or something like that, you know what I mean? It was kind of like that. That's what I was thinking, at least in my head. I'm like, there's no way. I thought it was just a spam thing at first. I'm like, wow, I'm getting in trouble with this. But I mean, it's cool. They know about Bakugan, so that's cool. And they said yeah, you're invited to this Bakugan Invitational event. And I was like, oh, well, that's kind of cool. I mean, it sounds like it's fun. I don't know if it's actually like legit or anything. But then sure enough, more and more messages were coming. They'd ask me for like my info and such, and that I started to get kind of nervous. Honestly, I won't even lie. If Spin Master's watching this, they'll see like my train of thought during this. I was just so nervous. I was like, I don't know if this is like a spam or something, because I'm not trying to get kidnapped or something like. But then got the info and such, and then they said this certain day go to the airport, and then sure enough I had. And I had flown one time before this, obviously for the the Battle of the Baytubers, when I had gone out to California, summer 2017, the very end of it. And this is my second time like flying. It didn't really start hitting me until I had gotten to the airport. And then I got to the airport, I had my bag, sure enough, and I was just like all ready to go. And I was like, yo, what the heck? And also it was the middle of winter, like it was cold, like snowy, cold winter. And I was just nervous, man. Like, I mean, I had my coat and everything on, and then I had gotten like to the airport, and then I got on the plane, and then sure enough I'm flying like 30,000 feet in the air, and it's just fully hitting. I'm like, dude, I'm like going out to LA. I'm like, is this really happening? Like, is Bakugan, like, is this legit? Like, Bakugan's coming back? Like, I was still contemplating when I was on the plane, you guys. Like, I kid you not. I was like, what? There's no way, dude. Like, like I was freaking out. I was freaking the heck out. Just being a lifelong fan myself, I was freaking out and just hitting more and more and more. I'm like, Bakugan's coming back. It must be. They found me, a kid from the woods. Like, holy crap. This is like, you do something for the longest time and you're a fan of a show, and then like the idols that are behind that show find you, and then they're like, yeah, we want you to be a part of something. So I couldn't believe it. Like, just be, like I said, me being a kid from the woods, I was like, holy crap, there's no way. And then sure enough, on the plane, and had gotten to LA, and I was like, this is real. This is freaking real, dude. This is crazy, crazy real. And I landed, and then first things first, I was like looking for an Uber. Also at the time, I'll say this, I'll actually get into like some details about some other things in a little bit, but I had landed and I was looking for an Uber. They're like, we're giving you an Uber code so you can go and find, like an Uber and then go to this address. I said, okay. And I had gotten like the first Uber, they hadn't found me. Like, I looked around and I was at a certain spot and the Uber wasn't there. And I was like, so like, yeah, they weren't here. And then they said like, oh, well, we've got you, just find an Uber and then like travel here, we'll take care of it. I said, oh, okay. I was still like crazy nervous. I've got the Uber, and then I was riding in there, and then they're like, oh, what are you doing out here in LA? I said, well, I'm a kid from New York, and I got invited out for this event that's going on. I'm still nervous about it because I'm just like, I was like giving all these messages and such, and then sure enough, I'm like riding in this Uber with you right now. And they were like, oh, that's so exciting. That's really cool. Well, congratulations. I said, well, thank you. I'm just like really nervous. He's like, nah, it's okay. You don't have to be nervous. That's a really cool thing that you're being a part of. And then he's like, what's it for? I said, it's for Bakugan. It's this marble game. They open the little creatures. He's like, oh, I think my son used to play with some of those back in the day. It was a really cool conversation, even with the Uber. And I think I filmed like a little bit of it, because like this is where it like fully started with like the full out like using every single moment to film type of thing. Well, I had been that way for a little bit, obviously with all the trips and such, from the brawl to like everything that happened before, the Battle of the Baytubers, all the events. And sure enough, I had gotten there, and it was actually at the W Hotel. I was in Beverly Hills, dude. I was in Beverly freaking Hills. At the W Hotel. As soon as I showed up to this, it was like Will Smith when he had shown up to Uncle Phil's mansion in Bel Air. Like, the look on his face, like my jaw dropped to the floor. I was like dumbfounded. I was like, what is this? There is no way. Like, like I know I say it a lot, like being a kid from the woods or like the country and such, but I am, like same kid that literally had $20 and would go and use it for Bakugan whenever I possibly could when I was younger. That's what I got, having a chance to go to Walmart maybe once a month and using that to go and get some new Bakugan. But just getting to that hotel and just seeing it, like the lights are all lit up and such. You see the big W on it. I said, "Oh my God!" I was absolutely shook, like absolutely completely shook, man. It was surreal. It was really really surreal. And also at that time, it's kind of funny because I had just started getting my tattoos. Actually, that's when I first started getting tattoos. Was when I was like 23. It was actually like right after my birthday. On Labor Day, actually, 2018 was when I got the Perseus logo, and then I had gotten this in November. So literally, this was like fresh. Well, kind of fresh. This was basically healed up, but like it peeled and like was healing up at that point. But I had literally only like these two tattoos on me. And that's when I had been there, and got to the hotel. And as soon as I got there, I had walked with like a rep of Spin Master. She had walked me inside, and then they had me checked in. I checked in, and then she gave me a bag and said, "Here's this bag. Feel free to look inside of it. Go and check out your room, and then meet us back down here." I said, "Oh, okay." And she was just laughing because she knew I was like how like dumbfounded and shook I was completely, like right away. And then, sure enough, I went up and checked my room, and as soon as I got there, I just filmed it. I was like looking around. I was absolutely shook because I had filmed. Like I started filming like right then, and I opened the room because also, I was like implementing stuff for the skits. Like I said, I used any time I could for the skits. Made a little clip like showing off the hotel room and such for like the skits, but then also just making the video, like the vlog video for the trip. And I was dumbfounded, dude. I almost cried on the spot. Actually, I did kind of cry on the spot. As soon as I filmed it, I was bawling, dude. I was like, I'm in this fancy freaking hotel in Beverly Hills, and I was just in the woods. I was just in the woods, dude. Like, I never thought my passion would actually make it where I'd get this far. And I broke down a little bit. I was really happy, and I broke down, and then I checked the bag, and I saw it was in the bag. Well, I didn't fully actually check it. I was too excited. I just, I didn't check the bag for a little bit. But then at the same time, Illinook's messaging me, and he's like, "Yo, where are you at?" I'm like, "I'm up in my room, and I'm gonna be downstairs." I went down in the elevator. Even thinking about it, I'm just getting shook, dude. So there's a little backstory with this. Anybody who doesn't know. So obviously, anybody who doesn't know Illinook, Jake Illinook. They had invited me to the event, and they said that somebody had left, and if I wanted to recommend anybody else that they'd want to go. And I knew that Illinook was a big-time fan of Bakugan as well as Beyblade, because he had collected Bakugan too, like back in the day, big time. We all saw like Jake making these videos on Beyblade and such, but he also was into Bakugan at the same time. And so it was really really surreal, dude. This is the first time it's the second time I had met Jake, because obviously the Baytuber Brawl, that's when I really met Illinook, in person, and then this is the second time I saw him, and it's the second time in the same year, which is crazy, just a few months later. And I had recommended him, for the event, and they're like, "Okay, we'll get a hold of him," and such. I gave them like what his name was and such, and then sure enough they looked him up, and then he was like, "Yo, this event, dude, like holy crap, this is crazy." He had messaged me, and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm going too, dude." I'm like, I put in word for you. I'm like, I really want to, because I know how much you love the game and such. And he's like, "No way, dude, like this is amazing, man, thank you so much." I was like, "Oh yeah, it's no problem," it was just really cool seeing him there. And then sure enough, we fast forward back to like present time. This is how I go with the story sometimes, just how I explain things. I go downstairs, and then sure enough, I'm waiting downstairs. I'm just filming a little bit. I'm like, "Dude, look at this," just showing off things. And then they get out the elevator. It was actually Illinook and Billiam and Negative Legend all there at once, and I was like, "Oh my god, dude!" I was like, "Yo, my boy!" Because before, like, I'd really met Billiam, and who knew really who he was. Negative Legend, I'd seen a few of his videos and such before, but yeah, man, that's where I got to see like Illinook and then Billiam and Negative Legend. I had met them all, and then sure enough, we go up to I think it was Negative Legend's room, and I opened up my bag. And they're like, "Have you checked your bag yet?" I'm like, "No, I haven't." They're like, "Yo, you gotta come and open your bag." So sure enough, I went up, opened the bag, and just showed everything that was in there. They had the plaque, Like, you know how I have my Kimbo card and such. This is where it came from. They made like the artwork for us, and they gave us like a plaque. And that. Oh my god. And that plaque was like, you know, the artwork with me on it with the ball and such. Dude, I almost bawled as soon as I saw it. So there's that. There's also, I think, there's a lanyard in there. So, you know, can identify us. So had the lanyard, had the Bakugan shirt, you know, and it was crazy. And then the small limited edition case, and it had a limited edition Neo Drago in it. So like literally there was only like I think 100 of them made, and or like 1,000 one of them, but like yeah, it was like 1,000, and it was one of them, dude. And I was like, holy crap, dude! Like it was crazy. That limited edition Drago, I still got it over there actually. But it was wild, dude, even doing that video. And then sure enough, after that, we had gone down for dinner because, you know, we had to all eat and such. So we ate together. And then this is where we met Michael Tillman, one of the big-time reps of Spin Master. And he was going around, like, talking to everybody. And then, like, I happened to be, like, kind of sitting by him. So it was, like, there's a lot of different people. I mean, obviously, there was, like, Leon Hart. It was Team APS, Illinuk, Billiam, Negative Legend, myself. Hardcore Lecter and Ethan. Is before I really met them. You know, I talked to them more afterwards and such. But I talked to them a little bit like at the dinner and such. And you know, and some of the reps with Spin Master were all sitting there eating and such. And it was crazy. He was showing off like some of the new things. Like he's like, this is a core, and then like this is a Bakugan here. Well, I actually didn't really show off the Bakugan. He just showed off some of the cores and some of the cards, and I was like, oh my god, like what? Dude, this is crazy! Like, I can't believe I'm even here eating dinner in this freaking hotel with all these reps and all these awesome YouTubers, let alone like being at this event. And what is my life right now? Like, I was losing my mind. I was just like flipping out the whole time. I was just like looking at everything. A lot of them were laughing. They were like, because they knew I was excited, and I was just looking around like literally everything, man. Like the food bar they had, you know, like all the designs they had, like, you know, all this, like there was a few like sculptures hanging and such, and it was crazy, man. I was looking around everywhere. And sure enough, after that, we had they were getting ready to actually like get ready for the next day, but Illinuk and I decided to do a Baku bay hunting kind of video, you know. Like, I call it bay hunting, but kind of Bakubey hunting, but obviously it wasn't out at the point, so we were just looking for bays, and I messaged him if he wanted to, and then he's like, yeah, let's go, and then sure enough, that's how the video happened with Illinuk and I, you know, going bay hunting in California, which was really cool. There's a Target down the street. We had gone down to that Target and such, so I went down, made a video there, looked for a few things, and then came back, and then got ready for the next day. I was so hype I stayed up for a little bit. But then we woke up the next day, and it was like a crazy big time schedule just going around doing stuff. So right away, we had all gotten up, and we all had to get in the lobby. As soon as we met up in the lobby, we got on a bus. And at the same time, before we got on the bus, I actually brought a few of my bays with me for skits, you know, like the Blue Inferno Hell Curvex that I had recently gotten in the time period. I brought that and a couple other bays and such so I could do skits, you know, while I was out there. Because like I said, I implemented everything into my skit series. Any big time event, I implemented even a little bit of it with the skits, you know. So we were late in the lobby, and I actually filmed for skits a little bit. I'm sure people were wondering what the heck I was doing, but that's what I was doing. Because like I said, I'm an opportunist. I use any time that I have, and we had a little bit of time in the lobby, so I made a little bit of a skit in the corner. And then we had gotten on the bus, and sure enough, everybody was there. Like I said, like Team APS, Leon Hart, Negative Legend, Billiam, Illinuk, myself. I didn't say Team APS. You know, C-Mo. Like, it was surreal, dude. And a few other big time channels as well. If I don't name them all, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to remember everything off the top of my head. And we had all gotten on, you know, the bus, and we were headed to Spin Master headquarters, and that's when I filmed my video a little bit for hyping up, you know, the return of Bakugan. That video. I was actually like sitting in the back of the bus, and everybody was sitting in the front. Illinuk was really close to me, and he was filming too. And then that's when I put out the video. Like, it's the return of Bakugan, you guys. Like, it's coming back. We're going actually to headquarters right now and finding out stuff. And then that's when I put it out, and then it started blowing up like crazy. Everybody was like finding out and such about it because like the videos that we were putting out, they're like, yo, Bakugan's back. Oh my god. And then it led to us being in Spin Master headquarters. Showing up in front of the headquarters, I flipped out, of course, like, you know, because Tillman was there, a bunch of big-time reps. They opened the doors. As soon as we walk in, we turn right to the immediate right. There's a really long hallway. I'm sure you guys have seen the videos. There's a really, really long hallway in the headquarters. And then to the right, they had the showroom. And in the showroom, they had cards. They had some of the artwork from the new characters and such. And we go in, and we're just like, whoa! Because they showed off, like, the art for, like, Dan, let's see, for like Dan, Leah, Shun, Lightning, Magnus. It was crazy, man. It was so crazy. I was like, there's a dog that brawls. Like, I was losing my mind. And then look over and see all these cards and such. And I'm like, dude, there are cards with this. There's so many cards on this wall. And there was like Battle Brawler stuff, you know, they're showing off. Battle Brawlers cards and such. And I was like, yo, they have like cards and stuff. So there's like a TCG with this, and flipping out, trying to get all the info on like all the cards and such. And it was surreal. And they said we had plenty of time, like we had some time to go and check out things around here. And then they told us we're gonna go and show you to the showroom. And then sure enough, we went down to the showroom, took the walk. The infamous walk. Tillman sitting there explaining everything with Spin Master, talking about like the different headquarters and such. And it was really surreal, dude. And then going down the hallway, you see these giant arts for some of the cards, you know. And then we walk into this showroom, and then they have two curtains, like one on each side with like product, well, behind it, you know. Obviously they have the curtains and such. But then you look in the very back. I'm sure people have seen my videos and remember this. The back wall, they have so many legacy Bakugan from the first era, all there, and I'm sitting there naming off all of them. They're like, yo, you know all these. I said, yeah, man, I'm a living, like, lifelong fan, and this is crazy, and I'm losing my mind right now. Just naming them all off. And then sure enough, y'all sat down. I got kind of a seat in, like, the middle. But then they start explaining, you know, they have a PowerPoint explaining how things were with the first era of Bakugan, what they're planning on doing for this reboot, you know, the characters and such, how they're implementing a card game with it, the core system, the new Bakugan and such. And then they start unveiling all the Bakugan. They start unveiling, like, things slowly in the showroom, you know, like the Drago figures that roll open as in the display cases for Bakugan. They were so cool, dude. Then they started explaining, like, Diamond Bakugan, you know, and how there's the new faction Arliss. So Subterra wasn't a thing anymore, it was Arliss. But still, like, Subterra is still a part of Arliss. I don't think people realize that fully. And the way that it is, people wonder how it is because Subterra was the earth element. Gold, AU, is an earth element, you know? Like, gold comes in the earth, you know? Earth element, periodic table, you know? So it's still there. It still pays homage to Subterra. Arliss does. I think Arliss is honestly pretty... it's more cool than Subterra. I know Subterra fans would be like, dang it, Kimbo, why do you say that? It's just like, it's kind of an evolution of it, you know what I mean? Like an evolution of Subterra, that being like Arliss. So, yeah, and they explained everything to us, and then sure enough, they show us the display cases and such with everything in there, like all the products they plan on putting out. I said, holy crap, there's so much, dude. They're gonna drop a lot with this. I was hyped, man. I'm like, my wallet. I'm like, as soon as it drops, I'm gonna just be going ham getting stuff. And I mean, history shows it. Like I said, I was gonna keep up with everything, and sure enough, keeping up with everything best of my ability. Then after that, they had everybody go back to the showroom, and they gave us like a small amount of stuff. They gave us like one starter pack and then a few card packs. But they didn't give us the card packs till we got back to the hotel. But they gave us some starter packs to just look at and such and see how things are with the game. It's a little fun fact people might not know, but Tillman actually gave like Ilinuk and myself like a special tour of Spin Master after it had ended. You know, after that ended, obviously couldn't film anything because, you know, no cameras or anything, but going in and seeing some of the behind the scenes stuff for like things that they have, like different products, like not just only like, you know, like Bakugan, but also just so many other things, man. Like Tech Deck, and then a lot of other things. And they also had some of the stuff even from like the legacy Bakugan, like just sitting in the shelves and stuff, and it was crazy. It was absolutely wild, man. It was so surreal, like even going there. I'm like, this is VIP stuff, like holy crap. And Ilinuk and I were just looking at each other, flipping out, like, dude, this is crazy. This is wild. Seeing how much just goes into it, you know, it's a lot of work and such that goes into it big time. Then after that, going back and meeting up with everybody and just, you know, getting our own like starter deck sets and such. So they basically gave us a starter deck set. And then I'm sure everybody remembers my infamous, well, a lot of people probably do, my infamous unboxing on, I got the Chaos Hollow Core one. So Chaos Hollow Core, and also it had like, I think it had Pyrus Drago in it, and then also Arliss Pegatrix. I got that one, and I did an unboxing on that, and sure enough, I put it out like right away, and everybody was like, yo, this is the new Bakugan, yo, look at this, yo, Arliss, what is this, holy crap, everybody starts flipping out, like, in the comments and such, and I was just sitting there, like, in the headquarters, just, like, even reading that, and I'm like, guys, I'm flipping out just as much as you are, like, I couldn't say it, because obviously, as you guys are commenting in the comments and such, but behind the scenes, I was like, yeah, this is wild, dude, and we're just scratching the surface with things now. It's wild. It's absolutely crazy. And then they explained how there's going to be, like, a tournament, you know, and it's going to happen the next day, and then just got to get ready for it. So then afterwards, we had gone, they took us to kind of a movie theater, and it showed us the first 2 episodes of the show. So obviously this being like they introduced the awesome ones, the Great Collision, the story with that, a little bit the first 2 episodes. And they also, it was cool because the way they introduced it was obviously Magnus and Dan facing off, which was so cool, like a rival battle in the first episode. And then they go and they like explain things with like the Great Collision a little bit, like, you know how there's the Great Collision, but still big time mystery factor with it. It was crazy, man. It was so wild. And then after that, we had like a Q&A session, and believe it or not, guys, I asked a couple questions at this. The first one was, will there be a Bakugan video game? I asked if there's going to be a video game, and obviously they're saying it's something we're going to look into and such. And, you know, a lot of people just asked like different questions, you know, with it, because we all got to sit there and watch it. And then sure enough, afterwards, we had gone back to the hotel, and I was still flipping out from everything. I still was. And then we went back, we had gone back to the hotel, and they had us go around like a table, and they had like a bunch of card packs and such, and they started giving like a few of us like some card packs, so we could open them and such and have some things to work with. And just trying to figure out like deck building and such for it, because obviously so many people from different areas and such. I mean, you had people from like obviously like Pokemon, like that did Pokemon TCG, Yu-Gi-Oh, you know, being like SEMO and such, like Pokemon being like Leon Hart and Team APS and such. Then also a couple people from Beyblade, that obviously being me and Illinook, and then, you know, just from different areas all around like YouTube. And it was so crazy, man, just having everybody there. And sure enough, we had gotten some packs and opened the packs, and it was crazy, man. I think I pulled Maximus Hydrus. I pulled Maximus Hydrus Ultra from one of my packs, and I was like, yo, I got an elite, oh my god. And a few people pulled some elites. It was wild, dude. It was really sick. And then sure enough, we had all been up for like a little bit. I know I stayed up for a good amount because I just couldn't sleep. I really couldn't. I was just too hyped. And then sure enough, went to sleep, and then woke up and, you know, did some deck building, and I was like, okay, like this is the deck I'll use. And then woke up. We got the day of the actual Invitational tournament. We all get on the bus on our Bakugan shirts, and then we had gotten there right back in the display room, and then they had switched up everything. You know, there's a bunch of different tables with the mats and such, and then the tournament started, man. They explained everything. They gave us like some food, and then explained everything, and then the tournament had started. So all the matchups, it was crazy, dude. I had to face a developer at the beginning. His name was Ryan, and I had faced him in my first battle. Like I was like nervous as heck. I'm like, not only this tournament started, but I'm facing a developer in the first battle. I said, oh shoot, okay. I was so nervous, man. It was crazy. From the battle, I remember it was crazy back and forth, like taking damage from one another and such, you know, because at this point they had explained the game. We had learned how to play the game and such. And then, obviously, making it our duty to go and show everybody else how to play the game and such, whether it's the videos or such, or, you know, the videos they even make. But, yeah, man, the battle I'd had with Ryan, it was so close down to the wire. We both had, like, literally, like, 2 cards left. And then, I had hit him with one last attack, and I managed to beat him. And I just sat there. I got so hyped. I was like, oh my god! I was flipping out, dude. I was like, I got it. And I was like shaking. I felt my heart actually popping out of my chest because my heart was beating so fast. Like, it was intense, dude. It was so intense. But yeah, it was so crazy, man. And then after that first round battle, I had a battle, like, I had to go up against Illinois and such, and it was also, like, crazy back and forth and such. I hit him with some pretty good shots, but he was hitting me with things, like, right away, just the way his deck was set up, you know. And then, sure enough, he managed to take the win in it. It was really close. I was obviously bummed. I was like, dang it, I really wanted to show what I could do. You know, and he was like, yo, I mean, you're the reason I even made it here, man. And I was like, yeah, I mean, you deserve to be here, man. You're freaking awesome. And, you know, your passion for the game is definitely real. And, you know, like, I just shook his hand and I was like, yo, for the both of us, I hope you win this. I hope you win this, man. Don't let me down. And I think he took those words, like, big time to heart. And sure enough, he had faced Ethan Monster afterwards. You know, because Hardcore Lecter and Ethan Monster are both there, and he had faced Ethan, and it was a crazy back and forth battle between him and Ethan. You know, because there were two different blocks and such. So, he had actually won against Ethan, and when he won against Ethan, he won I guess it's A block, we'll just say, like, you know, the first block or A block and such. So he had gone on and he won our block. So I mean, granted, the one that I lost to was the one that won the block. So, you know, it shows I got, like, I'm pretty decent as a brawler, I think. But yeah, man. And just, I mean, like I said, even blessed to have been there. And then that's when the infamous battle happened. The final battle, that being the winner of Group A versus Group B, that being Illinois versus Simo. And Simo, already having background in, like, Yu-Gi-Oh! And such, you know, in card games, he knows what he was doing, you know what I mean? And then they had faced off, and it was a really intense, close back and forth battle. Filmed as much as I could of it, you know. If you guys want to go see any of the footage from, like, this first Invitational, feel free to go and check it out. Like I said, it's the first Bakugan Invitational. I think that's what I called it. And there's a bunch of different videos. I even have a playlist for it on my channel. So, yeah. But the battle was so back and forth and intense. But at the end of it, obviously, as everybody knows, Simo took the win in it, and he became the first world champion. And it was really cool, just, like, you know, even seeing that battle and such. It was really intense. And then obviously him winning it, he got to name his own Bakugan. So I'm guessing he probably put in, like, a few different names, and they took one of them. But obviously that Bakugan leading to right now being Simoga, you know, which we didn't know till, like, this season, but, you know, that is the Bakugan they went with for him, Simoga. But yeah, so he got to name his own Bakugan, which is really cool. And then after that, sure enough, it had ended, and then everybody had their flights and such, and then, you know, we're just slowly leaving one by one, you know, getting their Ubers, going to the airport and such so they can get back home. My flight happened to be way later in the day. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to find some way around, and I'm going to do stuff until my flight, you know, because I stayed there until Spin Master had closed their doors, you know, because they obviously had to close at a certain time. Meanwhile, I was there, like, they had seen me there, and they're like, yo, we've loved your enthusiasm and just, like, the passion that you have for the game and such. It's absolutely amazing, and it's contagious, and we definitely, like, found a really great group of people, and you know that we found the right one when we found you. And I almost balled on the spot. I was like, oh my God, like, you all don't know how much that means, man. Like, I'm a kid from the woods, and y'all managed to find me and have me come out to this event, and it's wild, man. I mean, I'm honored I even got to get a win, let alone, like, a win over a developer. It was crazy, man. But even just being there, it was so wild. And obviously that's where I got this snapback. That's why I had to wear it for this hat, explaining the story, because it's where this snapback came from, and it's still one of my favorite hats. I absolutely love it, and it's just legendary, man. But sure enough, like, as soon as, like, they were getting ready to close their doors, it was, like, probably about an hour before, because by this point, almost everybody had left, you know, I'd say by the Illinois and such. Oh, yeah. Speaking of this, got to talk about this story. So this is a story a little bit about the Letterman hanging up on the wall and such. Everybody knows, like, you know, Letterman jacket I got. So Illinois and Simo both had gotten a Letterman because they had won. You know, it's like whoever won would get a Letterman jacket. at least they won their respective groups, they get a Letterman jacket and such, and also a trophy. But then the true winner would get their own Bakugan named after them. And so Simo and Ilnuk both got a Letterman. He had come up to me afterwards. Jake came up and he said, "Yo, I'm just freaking honored that you had put in a word for me to even come to this, man." And it's like I said, I was like, it's no big thing, man. It's just awesome seeing you again and having you here, and I know your passion for it is real, And he was like, "Well, I mean, I'm from Texas, and I know you're from New York, and it's really, really cold right now because obviously it's the winter. I don't really need like a jacket big time. Like if anything, you would, because you're way out there in the cold. So like I'm gonna tell them to give the Letterman to you." I bawled. I legit, like, my jaw dropped and I bawled, because I think a couple people had heard that and they're like, "Oh really? Aw." And I had cried. I won't even hold you guys. Like, I don't cry that much in front of people. Like I don't. Honestly, I hold it in by myself and wait till I'm like alone to really cry and let it out. So if I ever cry in front of people, it really shows that I really, really freaking care. Anybody who knows me real life personally knows that that's how it is. I hold things in a lot, and I just couldn't at this point. I bawled, man. And then I went around and I told the I told the reps, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, that's so sweet." And then they're like, "Yo, this got me fired up." Told Tillman, he's like, "That's absolutely amazing." And he said that he's gonna make 3 of them. He's like, "We're gonna get 3 of them made." So Ilnuk and Timo are gonna get their Lettermans, and you're also gonna get one too. And I just, like I said, I bawled. But then after that, that's when everybody had left, and said goodbyes and everything. And like I said, I was one of the last ones in the venue, because obviously I had like a bit of time before my flight. And then they're just like, "Yeah, we got a few of these products and such. Here you go." And they're just giving me a bunch of stuff, dude. Like, I mean, by that point, like Ilnuk and Negative Legend were still there, and I did like a little vlog with them. And then after that, like, that's when they started leaving. But at the same time, I was just sitting there filming as much as I possibly could, because I had my bags and such. I'm like, I gotta fit whatever I can in my bags, and if that means I'm gonna sit here with my power bank and I gotta charge it back up, because I use my power bank. I brought my power bank because I knew I would run out of battery, because I was just recording so much. Is how I do it. And I'm glad I had gotten the power bank before this. I plugged it in, and then sure enough, used the power bank. So it was depleted. Plugged it back in. My phone was kind of charged again. Made more videos. I recorded until my phone was bogged down, opening everything so I could fit it in my bags. And then I almost had everything done. I had a few things to left to unbox. So like all the stuff you see from like the first Invitational, like all those unboxings and stuff in the Spin Master headquarters, I recorded that all in one day, in like a couple hours. I was literally sitting there cranking. You ask like Negative Legend or Ilnuk, they were there and they personally saw it. I was sitting there cranking out videos and such, like unboxings and stuff. And then even when Spin Master shut down their headquarters, they were like, "Are you gonna be good?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll be okay." And like, talking to Ventus Knight, as well as like Tillman, they had rode off, and they're like, "Okay, as long as you're gonna be good." I was like, "Yeah, I'll be okay. I'll figure things out." So I'd actually sat outside of Spin Master headquarters. I moved outside and had a little bit of battery from the power bank, and I just unboxed everything. I sat there until I unboxed every single thing, and I could fit it in there. So yeah, I'd taken a lot of the cardboard stuff, and they had like garbages and such, and they put it in there. That way I could fit it. I'm like, I'm not gonna litter or just leave the stuff here, So I put in the garbages, and I managed to get everything unboxed, fit it in my bag. Barely fit in my bag, but I fit it in my bag. And then after that, I had a bit of space left. And I actually went down the street to a Target, because there's another Target like down the street actually from the headquarters, and I went there and I actually went bay hunting after, and I had filmed the bay hunting, and then I found a couple bays that I actually didn't have at the time. Well, I actually found like the Slingshot Brutal Lunar, like Bloody Longness or Brutal Lunar. I found it there. I found some Slingshot bays that I didn't have, because it was obviously the very kind of beginning parts of Turbo. So I had gotten some of those bays, and it was just crazy, man. It was so wild. And then after that, after I did those unboxings, I got another Uber, and I actually went to one more Target, because I had like a couple codes. So I'm like, I have a couple places I can go. So I went to one more Target, looked in that Target, wasn't anything there. So then after that one, I had just gone to the airport. And then after I got into the airport, obviously, I got on the plane, rode back home, and honestly, as soon as I got on the plane, I was in front. That's how I say it with every single trip. I put in my absolute best effort to get as much as I can for you guys, to show you everything that happened, to show you all the events and such, to show you like if there's any products or anything. That was my main goal for it, to show all that stuff off, and I'll do so to the point where I lose big time sleep. I'm running on like, just full out, just will and just joy, and I guess like a little bit of, I don't know, what's the best one? Adrenaline, a lot of adrenaline. And then as soon as I like had gotten through like security with all my bags and stuff, and then got back on the plane, and I was on my way home, I knocked out. It was late at night, and I had knocked out. As soon as I had gotten on the plane and it took off, I was out. I woke up like when we were in the air at some point, and then I passed back out. Woke up again. We had been landing, and sure enough, as soon as I had landed, I got out of the airport. My fam picked me up. I had gotten home. I was telling them stories about everything that happened. They said, "This is incredible. Like, that's incredible. That's really crazy that you got to go and do that." I'm like, "Yeah," especially being a kid from around here. They're like, well, excuse my language, when I say this, but literally my dad was like, "Damn, my son's going places." It was surreal, dude. Even hearing my dad say that and how proud he was of me. I know my mom's proud of me, but like, my dad at first, I'll be real with you guys with this. At first, my dad wasn't the biggest fan of my channel when I had started, because I only had like 1-2 subscribers, and he was like, "Oh, okay." He used to call Beyblades gay blades just to mess with me, but then he saw I was like actually making something and getting bigger with it and such, and he was like, "Oh wow, you're getting real far with it." And I said, "Yeah, man, I'm grinding, I'm doing what I love to do, and just the fact that I've even gotten this far, let alone I just got to go to this Invitational, was surreal." And then sure enough, I'd ridden home. I gotten home, I couldn't even unpack my bags. I was exhausted. I put all my bags down, laid on my futon, passed out. I woke up. It felt like a dream, man. I woke up, and I slept with the hat on. The hat was right next to me. I looked around. I was like, what? Like, it felt like a dream. It felt like I had slept and dreamed all that. And then I woke up, and the hat was next to me. The bag was there. I opened it up. I saw some of the Bakugan in there, and I broke down. Like, this really happened, man. All this really happened. This wasn't a dream. And I went outside and looked around the woods. I'm like, this kid from these woods just went and did this. Went into like a multi-million-dollar company's freaking headquarters, and they found who I am and know who I am, and they said they're going to be on the lookout for my channel and stuff. And just the fact that even happened is surreal, and that was a starting point for it, man. And then obviously putting out all the videos for like the better part of like, I don't know, maybe a week or two after that, everybody was getting super hyped. They're like, "Holy crap, dude, this is nuts. It's absolutely nuts, man. It's just so crazy." You got to go to this, and also that all this stuff's coming. Yeah, man. I mean, the rest is history from there. Then we got Battle Brawlers and the first waves of Battle Planet. But yeah, guys. Anyways, that is the story of what happened with the first Bakugan Invitational. Now, you guys know I was there. I did see everything, and the videos are here. If you want to go back and check them out, they're here, Also, at that time, I had, like, really, really short hair. I mean, like, I didn't have, like, well, I had the buzz cut like this, but, like, my hair wasn't, like, long in the front, It was just, like, I had short hair, you know what I mean? And also only, like, 2 tattoos, and now I'm sitting here with 24. But, yeah, anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this Bakubeytuber Adventures video, explaining the first ever Bakugan Invitational. Absolutely honored that I got to go, and it was just so amazing, and so surreal. So, yeah, man. Anyways, I guess, like, let's see, a preview for the next one. Gotta think about the events. A preview for the next event, the next big one. Wow, it was actually, like, yeah, it was, big time gap like between like events and such. So the next one is actually one for the Beyblade fans, that being the Blader Bash. That's going to be the next one. So hope you guys are looking forward to that. It was an absolute honor going to this, being a part of the first Invitational, and even how far things have come since then. and just thank you all so much for all the support, and especially you, Spin Master, if you're watching this. Like, holy crap, blessed, even still blessed, and just surreal. Anyways, guys, this video's long enough. I know it's probably about like 30, maybe even 40 minutes, but it's a lot. There's a lot of stuff that happened. I just had to explain all of it, but hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to slice the crap out of that like button down below. Let me know how I did. If you're new to my channel, definitely be sure to subscribe for some epic content, because I upload daily. And if you haven't already, be sure to ring that bell by my channel name to be notified whenever I upload a video. So yeah, guys, until next time, it is your boy, Kimbo, signing off. See you guys later. Thanks for watching. Until then, stay awesome. And the Bakugan, bro! I'm up out of here. Also, a little mini fun fact. After I had come back from that, it was probably about like maybe 2 weeks later, I had gotten these tattoos right here for the, the 4 season legendary bladers. Well, 5 of them, there's 5 of them, but the 4 season legendary bladers, because just like being like all of them and really pushing myself to my absolute limits and such, having characteristics from all of them and such, and really loving the story that they did for Metal Fury. It's when I got those tattoos. It was like right after I had gotten back. So yeah, I'd gotten up to 7 at that point. But yeah, guys, just wanted to say that as a little behind the scenes thing. Anybody who didn't know or doesn't really remember, because I streamed on Instagram, but obviously, I didn't put on, I don't think I put that one on YouTube. I think I maybe streamed one on YouTube, but then the rest on Instagram, so that way it can have music playing and such. But anyways, guys, that's it. Till next time, stay awesome, and Bakugan, bro! I'm up out of here.